Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ricky C. Williams podcast, the number one anger management podcast in the world. Thanks to each and every one of you that comes back to listen, learn, and grow. Now, this episode is about a 53-year-old man that shot his longtime girlfriend and her daughter, as well as House Bill 318. So, don't skip this one as we explore the details of these cases and the broader implication of our society and what can be done to combat domestic abuse. Let's get started. You're listening to the Ricky C. Williams podcast, where we delve deep into the complex world of anger. And in each episode, we explore what triggers it, how it affects our lives, and most importantly, how we can manage it. So, as we begin this episode, we must discuss this 53-year-old man from Houston, Texas. That's 4 hours away from Dallas, Texas. This man was sentenced to 45 years in prison for killing his girlfriend and shooting her adult daughter during an argument in January of 2023. Now, the victim was his loving, caring, longtime girlfriend and a mother who was tragically killed based off of an argument. This man shot this victim, adult daughter as well, injuring her, shot her in the arm before fleeing the scene. His name is Christopher George Edwards, 53 years old, and the victim is Tamara Derry. Now, before that, Mr. Edwards pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter in 1988 for killing a girlfriend, and he was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Let's pause right there. Let's think about what happened. And I do believe that his latest victim knew about his past. And don't get me wrong, people can go to prison and they can reform, but some people get out and they don't. One thing that a pastor who I listen to online is Dr. Darius Daniels, and he stated that the problem with Christians is that we believe everyone changes for the better. And we just allow these people second, third, fourth, and fifth chances. And a lot of times we just don't see them for who they are. The great Dr. Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. And it's unfortunate that Miss Derry did not look to see who Christopher George Edwards really was. If he murdered someone before, he can do it again. As my mother would say, if a snake strike once, it'll do it again. So where the incident happened was in apartments in South Houston. And after he did such a heinous act, he fled. And the Houston Police Department officers responded to the shooting and found Miss Derry dead. The officer spoke with her daughter at the hospital with other witnesses before filing charges. Edwards was arrested days later after being recognized from media reports. So, Mr. Edwards pled guilty to murder for killing Miss Derry, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for shooting her daughter, and he was sentenced to two prison sentences of 45 years each to be served concurrently. Now, that's one thing I do love about Texas. When you are wrong, you will be sentenced. And Mr. Derry will die in prison. Now, Mr. Derry may have family, and I do believe that we should pray for his family for bringing shame to his family. We need to pray for Miss Derry's family because she was a mother. She could have been a grandmother or a future grandmother, and that was taken away from her. Now, this leads into the next story that I want to talk about, which is House Bill 318, which Governor Chris Sununu signed into law. Now, what's so great about this bill is that many violent criminals will get arrested immediately and won't have an opportunity to get bail. Now, what's so amazing is that defendants of certain violent crimes held in jail until the arraignment time. That means they can't get out or try to coerce the victim to try to drop the charges. They have to stay in jail until it's time for court, which is amazing. Now, this has bipartisan support, but mixed reactions from defense lawyers. But I understand how the defense lawyers feel because if a situation happened, let's just say it was a domestic violence situation where someone called and said, "Hey, he hit me." He goes to jail on Friday and have to wait until Monday for court, and come to find out he was just defending himself. But there are times when a situation happens on a Friday and this person, whether male or female, attacked the other person and they just have to sit instead of immediate release, which is highly important. So I just want to take the time to actually say congrats to Governor Sununu for signing this bill. It will go into effect January 1st of 2025. And we just have to get it right because homicides, assaults, kidnapping is going up in this country. And I do think they need to be held in jail until arraignment, until it's time. It's necessary. Don't coerce a person or try to threaten a person of harm if they don't drop the charges. And it's great to expedite the arraignment. Like, let's hurry up, let's get them in, let's get them out. Let either throw them in jail if they're violent or, throw the case out if they were found to be not guilty. So in these cases where you have to vote for this, like the House Bill 318, I'm glad that they had bipartisan support. Not every party is just oblivious to the fact that abuse is wrong on both ends, not just against one gender, but if it's wrong, it's wrong. You have to go to jail. You have to go to jail. That's necessary. Now, from the defense lawyer's side, there's concern for holding defendants without bail and potential impact on their jobs and their families. Because again, what if they are the breadwinner? What if they needed to pay some bills and if they didn't have the money and they needed the money to bail the person out, then, their families could get evicted. Now, on the other end, you should keep that in the forefront of your mind before trying to harm someone. And I understand the defense job is to do its job. We can't get upset with defense attorneys as well as you can't get upset with prosecutors. But we have to get to the point of saying right is right, wrong is wrong. It is wrong for a person to harm someone, and it's also wrong for a person to lie to try to control someone and put them in jail. So I understand both sides. I just want people to understand let's not get violent. Let's not get to the point where you have to defend yourself from somebody harming you. Let's just be in a very peaceful state. Once again, I will always say let's not defund the police. This is just a view because so many people need the police. When you call them, you need them. And when you don't, you're mad at them. So I'd rather constantly fund these people who will come in and protect those who need protecting. And I thank God for the lawmakers who are saying that those who commit heinous crimes should be held. Most people will come out trying to intimidate the victim. So kudos to those lawmakers, kudos to the police force, kudos to those lawyers who will prosecute as well as defend the innocent as well as prosecute the guilty. So this is just a quick episode that was on my heart to talk about and to let people know in this year of elections that there are people who are fighting for you. There are police officers who are fighting for you. There have been police officers who've done heinous acts within the past few weeks. And there are also some laws that you think like this is crazy. But we have to focus on the good as well. So just for today, let's look at the positives. So thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for giving me your energy. Thank you for just listening. Whether you're walking, if you're in a car, if you're at the gym, if you're cooking, I just want to say thank you for joining me on this intense episode. It's stories like these that remind us that this is real. Life is real. Life is urgent, and we need to do some reform within our communities. And if someone you know is experiencing domestic abuse, please reach out to me at rickycwilliams.com/blog. And there will be a link at the end of the show notes for a private call to get the help that you need. Until the next time, I'm Ricky Williams, urging you to stay informed and stay engaged. Now, GBG, go be great.